Hello, chicken farmers. Hello, chicken family. And hello, prospective bakbakers out there who have yet to find chicken. So today, the developers, the devs dropped blueprints on chicken, and I am super excited, so excited that I thought I'd make a video to just talk a little bit about blueprints and this latest iteration of the game of Chikn. Chikn is an NFT upgradable gaming ecosystem on the Avalanche blockchain, and chicken lay egg will always lay egg. And with that egg, you can do a lot of things with. So let's get into talking about chicken. I'm going to shrink my screen a little bit so you can see my screen as opposed to me. But I want to show you some of the fun things that popped off today. So under farmland, we have our worm farms. And the blueprints, as you can see up here, there are 7 blueprints that were hidden on my farm, on my worm farm. This is my worm farm. So we have farmland, right? So I'll show you, for those of you who know, you know, and if you don't, now you will. But we have farmlands, and we have to expand those up to 195 tiles. But here you can see is my farmland. And then below this farmland is a worm farm. Obviously, below the dirt are worms. And those worms have to be deployed, if you will. So you need to deposit some worms into the dirt and the soil so that they can do their magic. And these worms find these blueprints. They found the blueprints. So unfortunately, I claimed a lot of these blueprints from my phone, but I will do another video in the future showing you what it looks like when these blueprints show up. It's a little red icon or something that sits on one of these tiles. But I had 7 of them. So some of the blueprints, and let's look at this here for a second. So again, everything is going to be predicated on understanding that there's a farmland, which is above, and there's a worm farm, which is below the farmland. And the worms are working their magic, and they're finding these blueprints. And these blueprints will then give us the ability to do some different things on our farmland and with our other NFTs like chicken and roosters. But some of the farmlands that I found that I was given, because the worms did such an effective job of looking, and my guys did a great job of foraging. One of these, this is called an Avaxium seam. And you can see here from the description, it turns a blank tile into an Avaxium tile. So what does that mean? So let's go back to my farmland. And let's look, and it's probably even easier if I go to the foraging portion of my farmland. And I'll show you what that means. So each of these tiles on my farmland provide a certain resource, right? As you can see, this black hole provides dark matter. This water hole provides liquidium. This provides veg, right? And then we've got lumber, right? Each of these tiles provide something. This one provides stone. Well, then there's these clear, empty, green, beautiful tiles. So right now I have certain resources. I have lumber, veg, stone, dark matter, liquidium, and mech. That's what's currently found on my farmland. Well, the blueprints will allow me to craft an item that I can attach to my farmland to give me the ability to find some of these things down there that I don't have. So you see, these are shaded out: gold, Avaxium, tungsten, mana. They're grayed out. I can't access those because I don't have any tiles that contain those resources. Well, blueprints change all of that. So let's go back to that worm farm and let's look at those blueprints. So now, even though I don't have the ability on my current farmland to farm or forage for a vacuum because I don't have a vacuum. This blueprint allows me to create an vacuum NFT and then to attach that to my farmland so that when my roosters or chickens go out to forage on my farmland, they can now come back with this vacuum resource. So now I have the ability to acquire and accumulate a vacuum because this blueprint gives me the ingredients to craft an item that I can attach to my farmland and make those tiles, which were formerly just green space, those green space tiles. I can make those green space tiles now give me the ability to send out a bird to come back with a vacuum. And so again, green space. And you noticed over here, I don't have the ability to do that because I don't contain those resources. Through blueprints, I'll now have the ability to do that. So what other blueprints are out there? There's a bunch of them out there. Log cabin turns a blank tile into a lumber tile. Placer deposit turns a blank tile into a gold tile. So I don't have any gold on my farmland. Wolframite ore turns a blank tile into a tungsten tile. I also do not have tungsten. Retro arcade machine will help me turn a blank tile into a mech tile. I have mech. And then gravitational field turns a blank tile into a dark matter tile. And I do have dark matter. And I would be more than happy to add another dark matter tab to my farmland because it's a resource that's very scarce and very hard to come by. And so by having the ability to craft a NFT item that I can then equip my farmland with for dark matter is going to be a wonderful addition to my resource crafting and foraging capabilities. So you can see here, here's all the resources that I have in my silo right now. I've got about 12,166 resources in my silo. And you can see the breakdown. I've got dark matter is 620, a little bit of gold and a vacuum and tungsten, and also mana. All of these did not come from my farmland. All of these came from the treasure chests that were in the worm farm from my little worms doing their thing underneath the surface. So the worms, by burning eggs in my worm farm, they came across, these worms came across a treasure chest. And in that treasure chest happened to be some gold, some vacuum, some tungsten, some mana, stuff that I don't have currently in my farmland. So that's also a pretty cool thing. So I have another video that talks more about foraging, so I'm not going to dive a lot into that. This is all about blueprints. This is all about crafting. So as you can see, these particular blueprints, again, I could take these blueprints right now and I could go over to the marketplace if I wanted to, which I won't do because I don't want to, and I could list it for sale. So for example, we already have people out there who have taken some of their blueprints, like this prospector boots, and they've listed it for sale for 200 AVAX. 200 AVAX. AVAX is $11.90. 200 AVAX is what these are for. And you can see, here's the description. It turns blank feet traits into a 2.5% gold trait. Well, what does that mean? Well, those of us who have chicken and who have rooster, some of us, if you go to I'll take you and look at some of my roosters. And so a lot of mine have traits for the feet, but let me just show you. So each of these roosters have certain traits, and some, as you see here on the tail, has none. So this particular rooster has a feet trait, but if he didn't, I could buy that blueprint so that I could craft an item and then I could attach it to this particular rooster because he would have a feet trait that would give me the ability to forage for gold. Give me the ability to forage for gold. So that blueprint, again, these blueprints are giving us the ability to create other NFTs that we can then attach to our farmland or attach to our chicken or rooster so that they can go out and help us yield more resources. This is all about accumulation of resources. This is all about the accumulation of resources right now, okay? All about the accumulation of resources, because these resources found in our farmland give us the ability to combine those. The blueprint is a recipe, if you will, and it gives us the ability to combine those so that we can create an item that we can attach to our farmland, attach to our chicken or rooster to make it more efficient, make it more effective, to bring back more resources, or to bring back the right resources or certain resources that we may need or want. And then we can take those items, we can attach it to our NFTs. Our NFTs will then yield back those resources, and then we can craft those resources together and then sell those if we wanted to, or use them for the purpose, whatever purpose we want to. So blueprints. So there is a marketplace for blueprints already. You can see there's some common blueprints. There's some rare. There's only one rare blueprint out there right now. Legendary, secret, none of them out there for sale. Here goes some common blueprints. So we've got some people that are willing to take as low as 4 AVAX. And you can see here are some different ones. Rubble. What does rubble do? Rubble turns a blank tile into a stone tile. Okay, so again, that grass tile can become a stone tile. And this is really important because there's a lot of people who have farmland, and as they were building their farmland out, they were looking at the particular tiles that they were getting. And a lot of people, including myself, was very disappointed with all this green space. Like we wanted like gold, we wanted the dark matter, we want this stuff. So when we were getting all of these green spaces, we were like disappointed. Well, blueprint and crafting has now changed the game. It's given us an ability to turn that green space into whatever we need or want so that we can craft those items together, and then we can turn around and sell those NFTs on the marketplace and bring in some additional potential revenue that we can repurpose to use that to do something else, maybe buy a chicken. So this is really a great opportunity to further compound into the ecosystem, pull out, recoup investment. It's really the next level in the iteration of this game. And it's very exciting because blueprints are just the beginning, right? They're just the beginning. So right now we have these blueprints. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to figure out, okay, well, I've got this one. I like that one. I like this one. I can use this one. I really want to take and get some more dark matter. I need some tungsten. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start working on crafting to create a bunch of items that I can then craft and utilize some of these, attach it to my farmland, maybe 1 or 2, because tungsten is also a very rare resource. And then I can also craft some more and I can sell those in the marketplace. Again, tungsten is very rare. So there are 25,000 of these, 25,000 as the max cap supply of tungsten created from this wolframite ore. And there are 45 blueprints that are out there. So very interesting. It's a whole new world in the chicken world right now. And again, this is just the beginning. This is the blueprints. The blueprints are the recipes to help you determine what resources you need in order to be able to create the items that you may be looking to craft. And if you haven't started foraging, looking for these resources, that's all foraging is looking for the resources on your farmland. As you can see, my little birds here, this little 3D graphic, the birds are out there foraging. They're looking for these resources. They're checking each tile. And I've got a couple mechs you can see there, right? So, so they're out gathering resources. They get the resources. They bring them back. Like I've got about another hour and 27 minutes, 2 hours before this rooster comes back with the resources he's found through the forage. I'll claim those. I'll put them in my silo. And then when I decide I want to craft some NFTs, I'll go over to the crafting area and it will tell me essentially how much of what in order to create certain things. So we've got SIPs and we've got equips. SIPs are consumables. They call them SIPs, but they're consumables. They're things that you could add to your farmland or add to your rooster or chicken. This example right here, this is, for example, this is smog. All right, so smog says increase the chance of finding mech by 4%, but reduce the chance of finding mana by 1%, and reduce the number of foraging chicken and rooster by 1. So I send out 24 rooster chicken in combination. So if I want to increase my chances of finding mech by 4% instead of the 2 or 2.5% that I currently have, based on the bird and based on certain fertilizer multipliers, I can take a SIP, add the SIP to my farmland, right? And in order to do that, I'm going to need to craft it, right? I'm going to need to tap into my resources to create this particular SIP or consumable. And this is called smog. And as you can see here, I'll make this a little bit bigger. So this is telling me if I want to do that, I need 12 of my 1,491 mech. I need 6 of my 294 mana. I need 4 of my 713 liquidium. No tungsten, no avaxium, no gold, no dark matter, 3 eggs, and 60 fertilizer. And then it's going to cost me 60 worm. That's all it will take for me to create that. And that, I would hit the craft button, and it will essentially create or craft, if you will, that particular SIP or consumable. And then I'll be able to attach it to my farmland, because that's what I have right now is my farmland. And then my farmland, when I send out my rooster to go forage, that particular tile will give me a 4% chance, which is great. And there's a bunch of other ones in here. There's Aurora Borealis, increasing the chance of dark matter by 3%, but it would also decrease the chance of gold by 1%. Well, guess what? I would love that. I don't have gold on my farmland right now anyway. So I don't really care if it's going to decrease my chance of coming back with gold by 1%, because my farmland doesn't have gold. So I'm all for this dark matter opportunity with Aurora Borealis. As you can see over here, it would take me 5 of my mana, 4 of my liquidium, 2 gold, 60 fert, 3 eggs, and 2 of my dark matter. I'm all for that. 60 worm as well. I'm all for that. So the worm that it requires is going to come out of the million or so that I currently have deployed. So once I have worm deployed in my farmland, when I craft items, it's going to take away from that total count. But that's just part of the ticket of admission, if you will, to craft. So these are all SIPs or consumables. And then you've got equips or equipables. And here goes that Avaxium one. So if I want to craft an Avaxium seam, which turns a blank tile into an Avaxium tile, we'll come over here, and here's what it's going to cost me. 100 of my stone, 30 of my mana, 30 of my Avaxium, 3 of my dark matter, 40 eggs, 80 fert, and 500 worm. 500 worm. So check this out. So here's the interesting thing. You see, I don't have Avaxium on my farm. I don't have it. I got this from foraging and digging into the worm farm, and the treasure chest gave me this and tungsten. So I don't have a lot of these. So that's what limits me as far as fully capitalizing on some of this. However, this Avaxium seam will give me the ability to get more of this every time my chicken or rooster go out and forage, because I need more of that. I have a tungsten. I also have a tungsten blueprint right here, wolframite ore. So yeah, I'm very low in this area, but if I have the blueprint, I can create the item, the craftable item. In this case, this is going to be an equipable. I can create it, attach it to my farmland, and now when my roosters and my chicken go out to forage, they're going to come back with some tungsten and some evaxium. And I need that because I don't have that on my regular farmland, so it's in limited supply. So that's the power of the blueprint. So imagine if I sold that. I could sell this blueprint, this evaxium seam, this wolframite ore. I could sell that on that marketplace and probably make a pretty good penny on it. But guess what? Now I don't have the ability to craft the item that's going to give me the ability to consistently get tungsten and evaxium every day, or twice a day in my case, because my roosters and chickens are coming back about 11 hours. Every 11 hours are coming back with resources. So that's twice a day. So if I sold that blueprint, I'm effectively going to eliminate myself from the ability to forage for that resource. So I have to go back on the marketplace and buy it again. But if I have a lot of that on my farmland, like if I have mech or lumber, and I have a blueprint, I might decide to sell that blueprint. Like this lumber one, I might decide to sell the lumber one, right? Turns a blank tile into a lumber tile, log cabin. I don't really need that. I have 2 lumber items on my farmland. I don't really need that. So maybe I'll sell that one. Who knows? Maybe not. But that's the beautiful thing about blueprints, is now I have the ability to create the ability for my NFT, my farmland, to give me that resource. So when I send the chicken or rooster out to forage, they'll come back, they'll take that blank tile that was just green, and they'll now convert that to an evaxium or a tungsten tile, and they'll come back with it. This is what it cost me though, right? It cost me 30. It cost me 30 of these, right? So now I don't have a mana. So I noticed one of the things I'm missing is I don't have mana on my farm, and I don't have a blueprint. So guess what? I need to probably be looking on the farm, on the marketplace, for people who put out a blueprint for mana, because I need mana. I don't have it. I do not have the ability to produce mana on my farmland yet. So I need to be on the lookout. And when I find it, I need to be ready to jump on it if the price is right. But right now, I'm a little bit limited with my mana. So, but that's okay, because once more of these blueprints drop, someone will put a mana out there, and when the price is right, I'll grab it, and that'll be a blueprint that I'll buy so that I can continue to create that item. Or I'll buy an NFT where someone has crafted an item that has mana in it, and maybe I can buy that, decompose it, take the mana out that I need so that I can use it for some other blueprint recipes that may be out there. So I wanted to show you what this looks like. Listen, I've been all in the worm farm. Blueprints launched today. We also have, at some point in time, more blueprints that will be dropping. I'm down on level 7. It takes 141 bigness on my farmland in order for me to keep going, keep digging, have my worms keep digging into my worm farm. There's 10 levels. And as you can see, it's going to take 250,000 worm to clear this box. Probably the same here, the same here. It's probably 1.25 million worm to clear this level. 6 million worm in total. So far up through this box, we've deployed 1 million worm. This level alone will be 1.25, so that's 2.25. So that means the last of these is going to be 3.75 to get to 6 million worm. And when you get there, there's probably more. So this is Worm Farm. This has been Blueprint. Crafting is, we have the ability to craft now. We don't have the ability to sell those yet on the marketplace or to equip those to our actual farmland or chicken. That'll come in 2023. But this is Blueprints. And extremely excited about this this development, this rollout, and the opportunity. I mean, think about it. The opportunity is I can sell this right now. I showed you on the marketplace. I could sell this blueprint right now. I have a rare blueprint, right? See this one over here, lumber plaque. It turns the neck trade into a 2.5% lumber trade. I could sell that. I could go to the marketplace and I could list that blueprint for sale right now. It's a rare. There's only one rare on the marketplace right now. I could list it. And let me tell you something. When people start realizing the full capabilities, these things are going to start flying through the roof. But I can also keep that blueprint, create as many up to the max cap that is for each blueprint and supply. And then I can attach those to my chicken, rooster, farmland. I can craft as many as I possibly want to, as long as I have the resources to do it. And then I can list a bunch of these and sell them. And that's opportunities to make some AVAX. So really excited about, I've been excited about foraging since rollout, super excited about blueprints and crafting. And so I'm going to be crafting over the next couple of weeks. I'm going to continue to forage. I'm going to continue to craft over the next few weeks and be ready to go to market when crafting rolls out. When we have the ability to mint those crafted items and bring them on chain, I'm going to be ready to go and putting in the work, be ready to go when it happens. So pretty excited about that. Looking forward to the ability to mint and then list these things on the marketplace and get some good ROI. Chikn is a great game. It's a great game for return on your investment. You know, we have been in this space. Those of us have been in this space since November, some of us later, some of us sooner. But, you know, the investment in the chicken and rooster and farmland hasn't gone down. They continue to maintain or increase in value. And the developers continue to maintain and continue to innovate with their development of this game and building it out. And it's just getting started. Super exciting. Blueprints dropped. Wanted to share it with you. Drop me a comment. You can find me on Twitter at 4A the number 4 at 4A Home Loan. That is the number 4A Home Loan. You can find me with, you know, right there, my signature has gooffmarketwithsteve.com. And you can find me on LinkedIn, Facebook, as well as Reddit and Instagram and TikTok. So see ya, Steve, the home loan expert, just going over blueprints with the Chikn fam. Bok bok.